stream. Today we are talking about the Hyundai Venue Ultimate. Now I was a little bit rough on the lower trim levels, and we'll clarify some of that stuff and we'll go into this one. And first of all, if you've never joined us before ever, you are about to see a very in-depth look at this car, probably the most in-depth look at this car that there is on the internet. And I quite like it. I like this car more trim levels. So that's one thing you may want to consider moving up to, but I'll explain the case for the lower trims as well. So here's how this works. We're going to be live for about a half an hour or so. If you see that this video is longer than that, we've probably gone off topic at that 30-minute mark, or we're answering your questions, which we'll also do here. And if you want to join us live, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. But if you are not watching live with us, you can skip ahead to the content of this video at the 3-minute mark. So feel free to skip ahead. I won't be offended. All right, here's how to join us live. Let me just flip the camera around here. Come on, camera. All right, so that is a good looking Venue. All right, coming along, here's how we go live. Take a look at our YouTube channel, and if you join our YouTube channel at exactly 2 o'clock on a weekday, this is sort of what I look like, and ignore that video that's playing right now. If you refresh the page exactly 2 o'clock, it's 2:01 right now, you will see our live video show up right there on the home screen. So when you click into that, you're gonna have to watch an ad, which means all of you are gonna watch an ad for me right now. All right, if you're looking to buy this car in Ontario, connect with me. As soon as this video is posted, I'm going to put a little link in the description below, and you can connect with me directly, and I will hook you up with Brantford Hyundai or Owen Sound Hyundai. Both of those are dealers that we work with, and both of those are dealers that will take care of you the way I would take care of you, and I think that matters. So feel free to help me support our channel by doing that as well, and I'm going to skip this ad for another competitive dealer that likes to hijack and jump on our stuff. And we'll go back here. You can see a couple comments coming in, not a whole lot. This is a Venue. So when we have a brand new higher end car, we have a lot of comments coming through. When we have a lower trim car, we have a few less people, and that's okay. So what that means is that if you do ask a question, I'll have more time to answer it for you. And we'll go through it there. Gabby's just running across her screen there. So one of our salespeople here. All right, what I'm gonna do is just quickly set up my Apple TV so I can see the comments from across the room, because I didn't get a chance to do that before. We had a salesperson in here. And we'll talk about some news. I got 30 seconds left, so news. You guys continue to ask about the Santa Cruz. I'm doing my best to chase it down. I'm told it's coming sooner than I was told originally. As soon as I have information on that, we're gonna come through for you. You guys are also asking about the Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6. Both of those, Ioniq 5s, you can pre-order. Kia EV6, we can talk about pre-ordering some of those as well. So a lot of that stuff, we should probably do an EV video soon. Of course, I'll be following those vehicles when they come live as well. Tomorrow, I think we could have a Kia Carnival SX, but we'll probably go right into it with a Stinger. So tomorrow we're gonna probably have the Stinger in detail. We have some requests to do some in detail stuff on that, so that's what we're gonna do. Someone says, I'm enjoying my Veloster DCT. It is awesome. Yes, we just did a video on the Veloster DCT about a week or so, week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That's an amazing car. All right, those of you that skipped ahead the 3-minute mark, I apologize for keep going long here. What we're gonna talk about today is the Hyundai Venue. Now, when we had this car in here previously, we had a lower trim level, and I said, you know, not attractive on purpose, and we talked about some of the things that they did that they could have made it look better, but they didn't. On the other car, it had 2-inch smaller wheels, significantly smaller. They had a few different little styling items in there, and in my mind, it wasn't the best looking car, and I think on that lower trim level, it really is a used car alternative, where you can get a lot of, you know, smaller wheels are less expensive to put snow tires on, less expensive to replace. The drum brakes in the rear, less expensive to service. So there were some benefits to that car purely from a budgetary perspective. Now when you get to the Ultimate package, this vehicle here, it does not compete directly with the Kia Seltos that's sitting here, which we were not going to talk about today, but you do have a lot of these features that you get in a Seltos, which is a much more expensive vehicle, in this vehicle. Things like the LED headlights, things like the nice software and screen, the multiple drivers and users and that kind of thing. You have roof racks as well. You don't get that on a Kia Soul anymore or something like that. If you want to see a top level Kia Soul, we talked about that yesterday in yesterday's live video. So again, some people think the Soul and this vehicle compete. While they don't directly compete, there are certainly customers that will look at one versus the other, and the Venue is a way to get more of that technology at a lower price, and we're going to talk about why this is a great car for you. And I won't make fun of its looks at all, because I didn't really make fun of the other car's looks, but there were things that they could have done better, and they fixed it here. So like I said, the bigger wheels make a big difference. Some of the way the trim is done up here, those nice contrasting roof rail, body color door handle. Well, everything's got body color door handles. But Let's go through and talk about some of the technology. All right, this key has some shipping plastic on there. You can see that plastic, so ignore that. But you can see here, this is what it comes with, and you will see that it has a remote start right on the key fob. So again, you're stepping into a little bit higher trim level, and that's getting you features that on a lot of cars you pay extra for, and you're getting a really good value here. So before we go too far, let's just jump in and show you the exact pricing of the Venue here. And like I said, if you are looking down here, whoops, there we go. If you're looking at the Essential model here, $17,599, that is a steal of a value for an efficient car. On that one, you have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So, I mean, that's just a crazy price to have that. Very comfortable. We'll show you some of the stuff in this car. But then as you move up the line, Preferred, Trend, and Ultimate, in our Ultimate today, we have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but you'll notice it does not say wireless. So this screen does not have it. We can talk about why and if and that kind of thing. But $24,999 is where this vehicle is for MSRP. So that's, like I said, a pretty good value when you start to see the content in here. Now, we mentioned the remote start on the key fob. You also have remote start on a cell phone through BlueLink. Now, BlueLink is a cell phone app. You can remote start your car. You can tell if you left your doors unlocked. My favorite feature on my car, when I sit there and, sometimes my wife and I both drive it, did you lock the car? Well, instead of running out to the car, I can just check on my phone and see if it's locked. And more importantly, I get notified. In fact, just before this video came live, my wife has our car today, and my phone notified me that she had left it unlocked in the driveway. So again, I can lock that from my phone. You can lock it other places. So some of those features are pretty cool, but that remote start on the key fob and the cell phone is pretty cool. All right, we're gonna take a look inside. You can see right off the bat here, you got a little button on the door. Of course, that key fob stays in my pocket. I touch that button once, just the driver's door unlocks. If I touch it twice, all the doors unlock. And let's hop in this Ultimate package here. Sorry, just showing what model is this. This is the Venue, and it is the Ultimate model. So if you take a look at the seats here, a little extra styling to the seats here. Not over-styled in any way, but it is a little bit nicer, a little bit, upper trim level. As we jump into the dash, you see as well a little bit extra style around here. So you got a little bit of white trim around some of the gauges here, white trim, the vents right there, white trim over here as well. We'll talk about that screen in a second. In the center, again, a little bit of silver around the gauges. So left side tach, right side speedometer, pretty typical stuff. If you've seen our Kia Hyundai videos in the past, you're gonna be pretty familiar with the software you get in the center here. A lot of information there. Lane keep assist on this car, driver attention warning, tire pressure monitors on this car as well. Lots of driver assistance stuff. So fuel efficiency, I drove it from Brantford Hyundai to Brantford Kia. 6.2 liters is what I got. So we'll check out the actual, there's my actual trip. So check out the actual fuel efficiency of this car. Again, that's one reason to buy this. This is very crossover-like in its feel, in its drive, in a lot of different ways. But it is an extremely efficient crossover. Seen here, you'll see as well, the Ultimate package has a sunroof. Sometimes you guys are telling me I should be opening these sunroofs, so we're gonna do that right now for you. It does tilt up like that. It also opens. Now, here's the thing with something like a Kia Soul or a Hyundai Venue. Because these pillars are not like a sedan where they come in close to you and the roof doesn't start to basically here and goes back where the windshield's slanted more. This windshield's a little bit more upright. Because of those things, being the bold person that I am, the sun tanning abilities of this sunroof matters. It's right there on top of my head, but it is in my peripheral vision, so I get light from it. If you look at a lot of cars, especially that are non-crossover type cars, the roof, the sunroof sometimes starts halfway back and you don't actually see it in your line of vision. So you do get the benefit of some extra light here. Someone like myself can tan my bald head, and that kind of matters. This is like the ultimate head for sunroof judging. We should just do a sunroof judging video someday. All right, so you can see a lot of information in there. Again, not a full color screen or anything like that, but again, good stuff, good information, the same information you have on a lot of the higher end vehicles in the lineup. Now, speaking of higher end vehicles in the lineup, you have some things here, driver 1, driver 2, and guest. So you can set up the driver. So let's talk about what that does just really briefly, the basics. First thing it does, if you leave your radio volume loud, they switch to their driver 2, it'll leave the radio volume at your level. So you can just switch it to that. You can have your radio stations that you prefer on your own presets. So when you get in this car and switch it from driver 1, driver 2, or guest, you can have this car set up the way you drive it. It is your car. So if this is a car that you share, this becomes all your car. You can set this all up like that. Now, a couple things you get in here. We mentioned the lack of wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. On some of the Kia vehicles, I've been able to get confirmed, something like the K5, for instance, the higher trim levels don't have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The lower trim levels do. We are told in Kia world that some of those higher trims, like on the K5, will receive a software update to get it. I have not been able to confirm that from Hyundai. I will still try to dig into it. But right now, lower trim levels, you get it. Higher trim levels, you don't have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but you do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So you've got navigation in here. This is kind of an artistic kind of look, but if we tap into that, or if we go somewhere else in the other screens, which we'll show in a second, normally this is a white screen, but it thinks it's very dark in here today, and it kind of is because I have, we are indoors. So this is your navigation. So you have navigation, but again, you also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which means you have Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever your preference. When you start going into the features here, you can see some of those things. The Blue Link we talked about, there's various features in that, including that cell phone app that remote starts it. Different media that you can play here. Wireless music through your phone. Sounds of nature. Don't get me started. I think it's a silly feature, but you can show your friends later in another video. HD radio data is a pretty cool one. You got some of these radio things. Now, sometimes it doesn't work when I'm inside here, but let's give it a shot. Yep, there's the radar data. Now, you can see there's no light, heavy precipitation of any kind, and that fits with the beautiful skies out today. It is a beautiful day. So you have a little bit of a weather station in this car if you want. Again, cool things to show your friends. And this is the kind of car that you can take your friends out easily in. So lots of stuff in there. Notifications, you can set that up. And in the setup, you can change a lot of different things. User profiles like we talked about, different sound things, device connections. You can customize this custom button here. So what I have that set up in my car is that will take me to my Android Auto Apple CarPlay. So I can have it plugged in. I can go through the regular displays, including even just like the radio. I don't know if you've seen the radio in this car. We should probably just show it to you. Tap radio here. And you have this cool like tube look radio, so it's pretty cool. You also have Sirius XM satellite radio. Of course, when you buy a car from Brantford Hyundai, or Owen Sound Hyundai as well, you get 3 free months of satellite radio, so that's pretty cool as well. And again, just overall cool look, good technology. Again, not so much the used car competitor here, more of the get all the features you would get in a higher priced crossover right down here. Now let's continue to talk about those higher priced crossovers and give you an example right here. Here's your automatic climate control. Now I'm going to turn it off in a second because it's blowing the fan pretty hard at me, but you can set the temperature for whatever you want and just let it reach there on its own, and you can switch it around so you can make it a manual system, but it is an automatic system that is nice and clear, easy, big knobs, and again, big volume knob here. It's just kind of easy to reach everything. Pretty cool. Here's where you're going to plug in for your USB port for your Android Auto Apple CarPlay. There's where you're going to go to just charge, and here is an extra little 12-volt port right there, which you can use to charge all kinds of things. Stepping down here, IVT transmission. That means it's a fairly smooth shifting transmission because technically it doesn't really shift. It moves across a variable rate. But if you do this and tap it this way, you do end up with a manual shift mode. So you can choose your own gears and it will give you 8 different ratios, which is pretty cool. The drive mode is pretty cool as well. I'm going to show you up here in the dash. I'm going to play with the knob. It is, oops, let me try to zoom in for you. Normal, sport. So there we go. Normal, sport, and snow mode. You'll see yesterday's video of the Kia Soul, we had a normal mode and a sport mode, but that was it. This one adds a snow mode, which is pretty cool. Again, you don't get that in every trim level, so you have that extra drive mode there. We're going to kick it out of there. Not going to lie to you, this is not a sports car by any means, but you can make it feel significantly more peppy by putting in the sport mode. It just holds the revs a little higher, keeps you in the power band of the motor, and makes it a little bit more fun to drive. So very cool feature there. Let's flip back around here. We'll go all the way back down. And a couple of the key features I like. Rump roasters, heated seats, 3 levels of heated seats in the driver's seat and passenger seat, and the heated steering wheel there as well. So heated steering wheel is a lifesaver. And in this car, for whatever reason, these heated seats and heated steering wheel seem to get very warm very quickly. So kudos to Hyundai for that. They really do a good job of warming these up. Little basic things, you know, the variable intermittent wipers there, cruise control, of course, here as well. This information area right here controls that multi-information display, which you can get a lot of information out of. Change your drive mode or change your driver assist settings. We'll talk about some of the safety in this car as well. Over here, you have your Bluetooth audio type controls. You can speak to the car to change radio stations, do all kinds of navigation information. I find our navigation is easiest to use with voice controls. I know that sounds silly, but it works very well if you know what to tell it, so that's pretty simple. Since this model has an 8-inch 8-inch HD touchscreen display. Why does it not have the wireless CarPlay? Great question. I'm going to assume based on my knowledge, so this is an educated guess more than an actual truth. If you look at the software here, certainly in the Kia world, this has generally only moved to the 10.25-inch screens, where here you have the 8-inch screen. So generally speaking, this software does not seem to support that yet. Now we know, like I said, on the K5, Kia has confirmed they will have a software update coming out. They just don't know when. So some of the K5s, if you bought the bigger screen, which has this software, you are getting an upgrade. Haven't confirmed that from Hyundai yet. Maybe it's not happening on every car. Maybe I was giving poor information from Kia, but I'm continuing to say that until they correct me. But that is my assumption, is a lot of the 8-inch, like for instance, the Sorento or K5, on their 8-inch screens, they have the older style software. This is the newer style software, and I believe that's what it has there. So there we go. So that's what's going on there. That's a good question, though. I want to show you the headlights in a second when we hop out here. I can jump and take your questions right now. Why don't I do that? We'll also talk safety. You can see if I look down here. Oh, I can't zoom in there. Can I do that? Oh, there we go. That is your lane keeping assist, which means this car is capable of steering itself. When you go down the road after 60 kilometers an hour, if it sees lane markers, it can keep yourself centered in the lane. And that works very, very well. It does that by using a camera behind the mirror there. A couple of little things to show you. Those blue links that we talked about with the cell phone app, you get these 3 buttons here. Some of the newer cars don't have the navigation button anymore, so a little change there. And of course, you have the individual lights, or all the lights, you can turn them on. And just a little microphone back there, which you can use for your navigation, for your Bluetooth, everything else like that. All right, let's turn the car off for a second. We're gonna come in. It warns us, that beeping sound is warning us that the sunroof is open on this car. And that's okay right now. All right, so let's jump to questions. If you have questions about this car, feel free to hit it. 21 of you are on right now. 17 have said, yes, this is totally worth a like. If anybody hasn't hit a like, let's see if we can get to about 30 likes. We're going to have about 200 or so, maybe even 300 people on during this video. So if we could get to like 30 likes, seems like a good number. That'd be great. So take a look there. We're going to look at the outside of the car, the rear of the car, the headlights especially. I want to show some of the features there. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm going to go through them right now. Does the Venue have an N line? Now that is a cool question. Short answer, no. So the N line, think about the N line Veloster. There was like 50 some odd points of the chassis and body that had been structurally enhanced. I just don't see the desire to have this car turned into an N line car. Although I would drive one, I think it'd be cool. I'm just gonna walk over to my motion sensor light. So don't expect it. We know that, of course, the Elantra has an N line, the Sonata has an N line, the Kona has an N line, the Veloster N and the Kona N are now on their way out. So, Tucson N line and then Kona N. So lots of N line stuff coming out. It's possible they may put a body package on this, or a sport package, maybe even bigger wheels. Like I'm not sure, but I haven't heard of that. So don't count on it there. What's better with features, Blue Link or Uvo? They are essentially identical. So I've never seen any differences in them. Difference per trim, like for instance, the Kia Sorento SX that we have here at Brantford Kia has a few more features than some of the other cars. So you may see some differences in features, but that's not Blue Link or Uvo. It's basically the same thing, just a different name for different car companies. Like the car, but not the wheel wells. Okay, all right, that's fair. So that's it. Is there any other question there? No, not a whole lot. Did I miss a question? Stopping in to give you a like from Victoria, BC. Thank you. All right, so we'll keep going here. If you guys have questions, continue to ask them, and I'll continue to go through them. I want to show you the lighting on this car because, well, we'll get to lighting in just 1 second. So we mentioned the bigger wheels. That makes it look better. I also think it may make it ride just a little better. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just me. It just feels like this was a little more mature, solid riding. So I'm a big fan of roof rails here. Again, I mentioned the Kia Soul that we had yesterday. You can't get roof rails on them anymore. You have to get the ones that clamp down here. So you've got the cross or the side rails. You can get the crossbars. What I like about this is I'm a kayaker, and again, that nice square roof line, you're already set up to go. You want to throw bikes on the roof, you want to throw kayaks on the roof, you can do that. I think this is a great little inexpensive, reliable, long warranty, just outdoorsy person's kind of car. It's not truly a crossover in the off-road sense. It doesn't have the off-road sort of settings that maybe the Seltos has, but you're getting a lot of the technology there for a lot less money, and I think that's, you know, kind of a cool thing. So let's talk about some of that technology when we head over to the lights here. If I can get to the, oh, you know what, the key's in my pocket, so I gotta jump in and hit the start button. Sorry about that. It is a tilt and telescopic wheel. I don't know if I pointed that out earlier, but I should have. Not every car in this class has the telescopic setting. So I want to show you the headlights here. You can see right off the bat, they are a nice white. It actually looks a little bit more yellow in the camera, but a nice white area there. And you have some cool things. You have this LED daytime running light that comes around here and the LED headlights. Now, those of you who follow this channel, I'm consistently telling people, if you can spring for it, go for the LED lights. You know, it's not in everybody's budget, and I get that. It's not in every trim that you want, and that's fine. But if you can, try to get those LED lights because they are brighter, they are clear, they have a nice sharp cutoff, and they're very good about helping your eyes identify things because it's almost daylight in color, so you right away recognize what you're seeing. So you can tell the difference between the rabbit crossing the road and the raccoon crossing the road. Another cool feature that just something to think about, see how sharp that cutoff is? Sometimes that will not light up reflective signs, things like stoplights and that kind of thing. So sometimes the purpose of these daytime running lights that you see just curling around there is they give off that ambient light above because they have enough bright light that scatters, that is in fact what lights up some of those reflective signs. And you'll find that the headlight themselves, when they're right on the reflective sign, can sometimes be so bright that it's hard to read the sign. And it's just that really bright, controlled light. And it's really, really nice to have. So you've got signals up top there, headlights down lower, and you've got a pretty cool grille on this car as well. Really upgraded grille. It's got a sort of a 3D kind of feel to it, look to it. It doesn't really show up on camera, but just the way the smaller, you know, sort of silver-like dots up top and the larger ones down low, it's got a pretty cool look. And again, like I said before, the other Venue that we had in here was very much about sort of a used car alternative, and this one is really an alternative to something like that, a little bit larger, small crossover. Come along the back here. We're going to show you back seat in a second. We're going to show you trunk in a second, but we'll just show you the lights here as well. Backup lights down low on the bottom, signal lights and brake lights up top here, and a little bit of a design to it. Again, something like, I always call out Toyota on this, but Toyota just does a poor job. The RAV4 is the worst one right now. It's got a circle of light inside of what could have been designed to look nice, and it doesn't. But of course, Hyundai and Kia as well both do a good job with designing their lights. And you know, the chrome logos here, it looks sharp. It looks nice. So we'll take that. We're going to show you, you know what, I haven't got Teddy Bear with me, but we'll show you the trunk. Maybe I'll go get Teddy Bear for a second. We'll see. Same idea here. You have the privacy cover up there. You got the mats down here. You have tie downs in this section here. And underneath here, you have a spare tire. A lot of these small cars don't have spare tires anymore. What I'm going to do is just really quickly drop this floor, and you can see how I do that. I pull it back, I drop it in. I'm left-handed, or I'm right-handed, and I'm having trouble. Let me go right-handed here. All right, there we go. Put it down there. And you can see it looks like it doesn't quite meet up there, but it's fine. It drops several inches down, and you can see that right there. And what that does is when I grab my teddy bear, which I'll go get him right now, it will clear him underneath this cargo thing. So let's just make sure nobody's here watching us. All right, we're good. Nobody's here. Let's grab the teddy bear. This is where I work. There's my uneaten muffin. All right, we've got teddy bear. Gonna shut the door behind me. So the reason, if you've never watched our videos before, the reason I use my teddy bear here, he's a rather large teddy bear, and you can compare all of our videos. Whenever we compare trunk space, we use the same teddy bear, and you can compare between vehicles how much trunk space he has. Now, you'll notice yesterday in the Kia Soul, we had the subwoofer over on the side, and Teddy looked a little squished. This is a smaller car than the Soul. It is smaller, you know, liters of cargo space than the Soul. But with that floor dropped, you can see that cargo cover, when I lower the tailgate here, oops, trying to lower the tailgate. Point is, teddy bear is underneath that cargo cover easily. So he's got some room. When you drop that floor, you've got pretty good space back there. And of course, you can take that cargo cover out, you can fold the seats down, and then you have a huge opening here. If you're going to buy a dishwasher from Lowe's or Home Depot, slide it right in the back there, which is pretty cool for a small economy car or economy crossover in this case. So really smart. And again, you can see the 3 child anchors there. So you can fit the latch seats in there if you've got kids, or if your life changes and you add kids, or, you know, things happen. So that's there. And I want to show you the back seat as well. Now, I had the driver's seat set up for me to drive. I did not create a lot of extra space in the rear seat here. This is a very small car. It's smaller than the Kia Soul. However, when we get in, you're gonna see I'm gonna fit in here just fine. So, a couple things I like. The higher roof line makes it pretty easy to climb in and out of here. You can see, again, the Soul had more, but for the size of this car, a 6-footer sitting behind a 6-footer, I've got enough legroom to move there, and I'm comfortable, and the seats here have good padding, and they're square to my legs. So even though I don't have a ton of extra space over my 6-foot, not 6-foot legs, 6-footers legs, you guys know what I mean. It's still quite comfortable back here. I would have no issues driving for an hour and a half in this car, sitting back here, where your knees are kind of up on the dash, your legs are spread out to fit the driver's seat between, and it's just not that comfortable. Whereas here, it is comfortable. No armrest here in the center, so that is one thing you sacrifice of this class of car right now, but you do have a couple nice features that I like, and I'll show you right here. You have the plastic back seats, which I think are super easy to clean, and you have this netted pocket on the passenger side. No vents or ports back here, which means your kids aren't gonna be sticking Cheerios in your USB ports. Trust me, you don't want that to happen. But the nice thing is with these plastic back seats, if you do have kids back here, a wet cloth cleans them up and you are good to go. If you close the door, is there still enough space? Yeah, I'm actually nowhere near the door. So, I don't know if it's, again, quite comfortable back here. I can put my head on the headrest. Width is not an issue. It would be tighter with 3 people back here. This is a 2-person in comfort, 3 people legally, but not comfortably for a long, long time. So certainly people my size, very comfortable back here, and good point over here. Yeah, lots of room. You can see my arm is like, this is against me. It's sticking way out there. So width isn't an issue because they put you inside the car. They don't squish you up against the outside. I have some people that come in and they take a tape measure from door handle to door handle. That tells you nothing. It tells you how wide the car is, but it doesn't tell you how much elbow room you have because where they put the seats in the car. And this one is nicely put over in the right. So again, pretty good thing here. And if you have kids that play with the window switches here, you do have a button out front which can lock them out, so you don't have to worry about that. And again, nice thing here, when you get a car with a sunroof, it just gives you a little bit of an extra view from the passenger seat. So pretty cool. That's the way I like it. All right, we are 6 likes away from our 30 like goal. I think we set the goal at 30. So if any of you haven't hit that like button, do me a favor. We got 6 more likes. That'll get us there. That would be great if we could get there. Okay, to the company. 3's a crowd in the back seat. Yeah, 3's a crowd. Yeah, exactly. 3's company, 3's a crowd. So yeah, exactly. You can fit 3 back there legally. I don't think that's what you want to do on every trip. And I think people buying this car are perfectly fine with that. And let's be very, very, very honest. 3 people in the back of a Kia Stinger, also not the best idea. So, that's a large car. So it just really depends on what you're looking at. But I think people are pretty happy with being able to take their 2 friends out for long trips. And like I said, with the roof rack, you can put a roof box on top. You can take 4 people camping in this car. I always talk about outdoor stuff. I'm sure other people do other things. I don't know what they do though. Do they do that to check the width of the child car seats? Oh, yeah. So they measure the back seats to check the width of the car seats. However, I know someone who measures, and he thinks that if it's a wider width, it's going to give them more arm room, and it really isn't the case. It usually just sacrifices the middle person's room. So, he'll say, oh, this car is half an inch wider overall, therefore it's a better car. Well, if it's half an inch wider, but they put the seats 2 inches closer to the side door, and you're right up against it, that's not always the best either, right? All right, so we got 3 likes away from what we were hoping to get to now. 3 likes away from 30 likes. There are 30 people on right now, so 3 of you for sure haven't hit it. There's going to be 200 to 300 people on. Any option for a power liftgate? No. And I know that seems to be a really popular option. It's not something you generally see in this class of car. Even again, like they said, the Kia Seltos over here, the Kona, you don't have an option for that. So I'm surprised at how many people like that feature. It's certainly available in the bigger cars with the heavier doors, but these aren't heavier doors. So yeah, they don't have that. Car seats change in size and width. Yes. So I don't know if this is related to my comment. Somebody said car seats change from size and width. Yeah. Some people have asked me, can I fit 3 car seats across and that kind of thing? In this car, you probably can't fit 3, but you can do 2 for sure. But always remember, there's different size and different widths of car seats. So if you're measuring things, if you want to start fitting them in different size vehicles, that's something to consider. All right, going to keep taking your questions here for a few minutes here. There was an off-topic question we'll get back to in a minute. I don't remember what that was because I didn't see it. Just somebody said off-topic. Check if Teddy Bear isn't slacking in Gabby's office. Teddy Bear's not allowed in Gabby's office. Teddy Bear hangs with me. We're homies. We're buds. We're pals. All right. Oh, there's the off-topic question. So I'm just going to stay on topic. If there's anybody who has any questions about this car that maybe I've missed or something you want to see while it's here, my next car must have a powered tailgate. I've earned it. Yeah, fair enough. Can we fit 3 big traveling bags? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so seats up or seats down? Yeah, three bags in this trunk I think would fit no problem. Sometimes something like, I don't know, sometimes there's way smaller cars, but this is fairly deep. If you're not taking people, this trunk is immense, right? You're folding down the seats. But yeah, you have to almost measure, but certainly 3 upright travel bags I think would fit pretty good in there. One flat, and maybe one flat with the top off here. Because again, this doesn't have to stay there. That can come off and you can use the height there. So that's good. Does it have 4-wheel disc brakes? Good question. The lower trim levels have drum brakes on the rear. This one has disc brakes on the rear. So great question there. Do any of the Kia models or Hyundai models have something similar to the Kia Soul mood lamp? Many of them have ambient lighting, but not so much the mood lamp. I don't know of any Hyundai vehicles that have that. Power liftgate should be standard, says somebody here. I'm going to disagree with that. A lot of people don't like the power liftgate when we have it in their car. They prefer not to have it. So while there are people that definitely want it, it's not something that everybody wants. So I don't think the dealers would want that to be standard in every car, that's for sure. Okay, keep going here. We'll see what you've got. That was my question, someone said. Hopefully Kia and Hyundai change the 5th door in the back to open automatically too. Yeah, you guys really like that. Prices, we covered prices earlier. This one's about $25. They started about $17,900, so $24,999. They started about $17,599 for the Venue here. And like I said, a really good option for someone who's looking for, at the lower price point, a new car instead of a used car. At this price point, I think somebody looking for a front-wheel drive crossover with a lot of tech, but don't want to pay all the tech prices. So again, I think when you look at some of this tech that you get here, you're moving into this car here, which is over $30,000, and here you're $1 under $25,000. So just another way to get some of the tech you want in a less expensive car. Now, you do have a smaller engine, you do have a little bit less horsepower, so there are trade-offs, but I think a lot of people are willing to do that, and that's fine. Which engine? It's a 1.6 gasoline engine, gasoline direct injection engine. No, it's a multi-port. Oh, is it a multi-port now? 1.6. That's what it is. I forgot. Yeah, it's not gasoline direct injection. It used to be now it's a multi-port, I believe. And if I can just go down to the specs here, I will tell you. Oh, it's angry at me here. There we go. You guys are going to ask me horsepower. I feel like it's a 130 something, but I've totally forgotten the horsepower number off the top of my head. And this is something I've done a number of times the past couple weeks. 121 horsepower, 121 horsepower, which again is adequate for this. This is not something that's going to be throw you in the back of the seats, but certainly driving it normally. The Kia Soul has 147 horsepower. This is a smaller car. 121 works just fine on this car. So there we go. Hey, we hit our 30 likes. Cool. Somebody asked me an off-topic question. I'm going to get to that, but I'm just going to double check if there's an on-topic question. Kia Seltos all-wheel drive is best in snow without snow tires. Oh, okay, sure, but I always recommend getting snow tires. Yeah, this isn't an all-wheel drive car, so the Seltos does have all-wheel drive. Again, different classes. Let's see, off topic. Which N-line model would you recommend to buy and why? Oh, so N-line or N? So you're talking Veloster N. So just let me clarify one thing. N-line tends to be a sporty version of the car. The N, like the Veloster N or the new Kona N, those are going to be almost track cars. So I really like the Sonata N. It's got great seats. It's got side bolsters that pinch you. That is a great everyday car. So I haven't driven the Elantra N yet. I will do that in the next probably a little while. As far as the Veloster N is not an everyday car for a lot of people. I drove it here first and said, oh, I'm too old for that car. And then I spent the day with it and I really, really like it. It's a toy, and I used to own a Jeep Wrangler, which is exactly that. It's not nice to drive, but it's a toy. The Veloster N is not nice to drive. It's not a plush luxury car. It is immediate in its steering. It's immediate in the thing. So Veloster N is the most pure track car that I would drive for sure. But everyday car, probably the Sonata N, having not driven the Elantra N yet. So there we go. N-line takes more gas, probably, but that's mostly your right foot, and you don't care at that point because you're having fun. All right, what are we looking at tomorrow? Great question. So tomorrow, what we're doing is, at this point, somebody asked me to go a little bit further in depth on the 2022 Kia Stinger technology. So we're going to jump into that tomorrow. unless the Kia Carnival SX shows up. It might show up tomorrow, so we need enough time to have it show up and throw it on video tomorrow. If it shows up at like 1:30, I won't have enough time. So you guys can kind of help me decide. If you have a preference, let me know in the comments below if you prefer one over the other, and we'll do that. But that is our plan tomorrow. Stinger In-Depth Technology, 2022 Stinger, which we really haven't done a proper job on yet, and we will. Otherwise, Carnival SX, which again has a lot of technology that we'll cover as well. So I want to thank everyone for watching. That'll be our Friday fun. We'll see you live again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And again, if you want to buy this car and you're in Ontario, do me a favor, reach out to me, connect me, even anywhere in Ontario. People are like, oh, I'm an hour away. An hour away, we can deal with that. We can help you. If you're in Brantford area, Owen Sound area, or anywhere in Ontario, reach out to me. I'll connect with our sales team, and I'll make sure they take care of you. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.